Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm sitting here with Jill Blasczyk. She's the head women's volleyball coach at Embry Riddle Aeronautical University. And I apologize, I psyched myself out trying to pronounce Embry Riddle, and I messed up volleyball. So, but I got it spit out. So, Jill, thanks for being here with us. And yeah, I'll just let you, take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks, Brig. Well, as you said, my name is Jill Blasczyk. I coach women's volleyball at Embry Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona. And I'll be going into my 9th season as head coach in 2020, which is exciting. I've been at Embry Riddle for 11 years, and I think that's pretty special that I myself have identified, what I want to do when I grow up, and I've found it. So it's a pretty special thing to be involved with student athletes on an almost daily basis. Now that's become virtual, but looking forward to getting back into the gym soon. But what can you all do in the meantime as far as recruiting instead of sitting on the couch with your dog? Although that's important, there's plenty that you can be doing right now to market yourself, to get yourself recruited, even without volleyball and tournaments. I wrote down a list so I don't forget stuff. I may still forget stuff, but I try to be as organized as possible. So I got 5 things for you since today happens to be Cinco de Mayo. So in honor of the 5 of Cinco, we're going to talk about 5 different things that I'm going to throw out there for your benefit for the recruiting process. Number 1 on my list is you are your best recruiting resource. You are your best recruiting resource. Not your parents, not any recruiting platform out there really can do a better job than you can do. And the best way you can do that is reach out to coaches, reach out to assistant coaches, and market yourself. You can send out an email that costs none dollars, and you can include important information that gets me excited about you and can start the recruiting process and that connection and that communication just from an email. So things to include in your email. Please include your name. Okay, and you think this is funny, but sometimes I get this whole long email from pandasarethe@gmail.com, and I have no idea who sent it. So please include your name. Include video if you have it. Video is the best, fastest way for us to make a quick evaluation. Although it's not perfect, it gives us a great idea of where you're at athletically, what kind of training you have. It's super important to include video. Also include your position and your graduation year. I get a lot of emails without this information, and I have no idea who's reaching out to me. I don't know if you're a 6'8" middle blocker, because if you are, I would probably email you right back before finishing even reading your email, but please include your information. Also, another big thing for me is include your academic interests. So if you're interested in aerospace engineering or aeronautical science or space physics, all those things, especially that are specific and unique to our university, I get pretty pumped about because that's what we do. So I know right away that academically you've done your homework and you might be a really good fit for our university, whether the volleyball piece works out or not. So please include your academic interests, even if you're unsure. I like pottery and I like walks on the beach. Do we have a major for that? We probably don't at Embry Riddle, but I'm sure someone out there does. So please include that information. Things you don't want to include. In general, stats. I don't need your stats from your high school season. Although they may sound great, I just don't have the context to put those stats in. I don't know who you're playing against. I don't know what position necessarily you're playing at the time. Those stats don't help me as much as information about you and maybe your interests outside of volleyball. So maybe include those instead. Also, don't lead with the line of, I expect to get a full scholarship. Okay, puts a bad taste in my mouth from the beginning of reading that email, and oftentimes it will end up in the discard pile. So having the drive and the motivation to earn a scholarship is wonderful, is fantastic. But please don't lead with that line. Maybe in the second email, we can talk scholarship. So that's really the first thing you can do to market yourself, and then follow up. Please follow up with another email, with a phone call. Don't just send one email off into the ocean of recruiting and not wonder what happened to it. I have a staff of one, me, so sometimes it can be overwhelming to get a bunch of emails in one day in various forms and lots of good information and good potential recruits. But sometimes, most of the time, I need a reminder to reach out to you and to make that personal connection. So please follow up. That's all number one. Okay, you're excited for number two. Here it is. Identify your academic interests. You are about to embark upon this journey of being a collegiate student athlete. So being athlete is only half the equation. You've got to be a student. It's part of the rules. You got to be eligible to play volleyball. You got to be a student. So what are you academically interested in? This is a huge, huge question. And if you can identify this, you'll be ahead of the game, because then you can make Google your BFF, and you can type in what you're interested in, and you can check out schools that offer it, and start to narrow the process from there. Because it can be overwhelming, it can seem overwhelming just to identify where you would even want to go to school. But starting with your academic interests can be one of the best ways to narrow down where you'd like to end up playing. And then once you get these search results from your best friend Google, organize those results by size of school, location, success of program. I mean, all these things you can use to kind of narrow down or filter out your results, and start with those schools and start reaching out there. Check out the volleyball program. If you're a middle blocker and the program that you're interested in has 17 middle blockers on their roster, maybe not the program that you should only set your sights on, or maybe consider transitioning over to the right side, or working on your defensive skills to market yourself that way. But just be informed before you're contacting these schools, who is graduating, how many are graduating, and what positions are graduating. All that information you can acquire by looking at a roster online. So that's number two. Okay, number three, we're getting there. Scholarship. Okay, this is what's on everybody's mind. This is the big word in recruiting. Again, don't lead with the word scholarship in your email when you're reaching out, but it's information that's important in making your decision, and I understand that. I get that. But it's important that you familiarize yourself with scholarship opportunities even before you reach out. Are you reaching out to a Division I program, Division II, III, NAIA, junior college? We all have different options and opportunities for scholarships. So at the NAIA level, I'm going to speak to the NAIA level because that's, we have a network of almost 300 schools, and we have volleyball programs, women's volleyball programs. There's over 200 of them. And so you have this whole network of smaller, usually smaller private, a lot of private schools, but they're educationally just some of the best and can really offer you that every volleyball player, every collegiate volleyball player has to play at the Division I or II level to have a rewarding experience. It's simply not true. At the NAIA level, we have scholarship money. So essentially we have a bucket of scholarship money. It's not a literal bucket. That would be exciting to see if it was true. But we have a bucket of money, and out of that money, we are able to award athletic scholarship. And at our institution, we can combine that with academic scholarship. So what's neat for you as a student athlete, as coming in with a great GPA or coming in with a course load that's really tough, you can really earn more scholarship money with your academic profile than you can a lot of times with your athletic profile. There are more scholarship dollars available for you as a student purely for your academics than purely for athletics. So keep that in mind. Your GPA does matter. Your course load does matter. And all of that can stack up in your favor when you come and you apply to our institution and you have great test scores or great GPA, or combination of both can really end up working in your favor. Most of our student athletes have more scholarship that they've earned through their academics than through their athletics. But with the combination of the two, they're able to pay for school. And that's a pretty cool thing. I always say that being a student athlete is one of the best jobs you can have. So definitely don't forget how big of a piece your academics can play in earning scholarship for yourself. Okay, last two are pretty quick. Number 4, be a good human. This is one of my favorite things with student athletes who are looking for a place to play and finding that match. Be a good human, be well-rounded. Nobody is just about volleyball. So let me know what else you're interested in. I think that can add a different dimension to recruiting. If you're really into pottery, or you have a koi pond in your backyard, and I don't know. These are just random examples. Share this information. Maybe you volunteer. Maybe you're into indoor skydiving. I don't know. Just share what else you're interested in. Go do other things. Go be an athlete. I love when volleyball players play other sports. Go jump for your track team, even if you have no idea. It's a good way to stay active, and go play baseball on the street. It's just a good way to be a more well-rounded athlete. And I get excited when I'm contacted by athletes who are successful in different sports. Number 5, be a good teammate. I love to observe student athletes, especially at tournaments, when they're not playing, because it can be more telling for me when you're not on the court how good of a teammate you're going to be if you were in our program. And if you have positive body language and you're cheering on your teammates and you're engaged and you know what rotation we're in, all these things are helpful for me. I like to watch how you come off the court. I like to watch how you interact with your teammates. I like to watch how you interact with your parents. All these things offer helpful insight to me because we're not just recruiting athletes. We're not just recruiting student athletes. We're recruiting humans, and you've got to be a good teammate. And we want you to be successful at the next level. So if you're doing that and you're demonstrating that you have those skills of being a good teammate on your club team or in your high school program, that's a good sign, a good indicator to me that that's going to transition over into the collegiate level. And I get excited about that. So it's not just about volleyball. And anyone who has played volleyball and has balanced that with their academic load at high school and is doing a good job, that's usually the best way of telling if they're going to be successful at the next level, if they're currently managing that and being successful. So that's important to me. And so far has proved success for us. And this going into my 9th season. And we just have a great group of student athletes. I enjoy being around them. And we happen to win some volleyball matches. And that makes the experience more fun too, for them and for me. So that's what I got for you.
Awesome, Joe. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to, share your insights with our kids.
Of course, I'm sure it was super helpful. That's what I'm here for. But if you need any clarification, Google me and we'll talk. If you want to fly airplanes or build airplanes or go to space, we do that amongst other things. And I get to work with an exceptional group of student athletes who are really smarter than me off the court, but on the